my shorts.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast, episode 3. Oh, 3 episodes down and many more to go, hopefully.
We'll see.
We'll see. I am, of course, joined once again by my good friend, old mate Rick.
Hey, guys.
Who is, as we say every week, we kind of have to give you a little bit of an introduction. He's not just my good friend, he's also my father.
Yep, the old boy.
The old boy. So we're very excited to get into today's show. As usual, it is a huge show. We've got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. There's a bunch of stuff about streaming services going on in the world. A bunch of new movies and stuff being announced and TV shows and stuff, especially in these COVID times, which has been nuts. Now, of course, you can join us every single Monday on all the podcasting platforms. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all the smaller ones as well. I believe we're on there as well. The visual element will be available to view on YouTube every Monday alongside all the podcasts as well. But if you are a patron supporter, you get that 2 days earlier on the Saturday. So if you want to support us, support the channel, support the podcast, all that stuff, you go to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. If you are listening on podcast platforms,
For as little as $1 a month.
as little as $1, all the great all the great value you get out of that. Early access to this, early access to videos, all that kind of stuff that I do on YouTube. Of course, if you are listening on podcast platforms, we would love you to send in some reviews and some ratings and stuff, as long as they're good.
Yeah, you don't want the bad ones.
We don't want the bad ones. We want the good ones and the mediocre ones. You got to be honest about it.
Oh,
Maybe just the good
really?
ones. Maybe just the good ones. Of course, you can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under. Over on Twitter and Instagram, just search me, Dave Lee Down Under, and I'll be on there as well. If you want to write anything into the show, anything, go to daveleepod@gmail.com. So I think that's it. That's the little opening
That's the
spiel.
intro.
I'm out of breath already. We got
Oh,
another.
that's it. Let's go.
All right. We got another. All right, see you later, guys. We're off. No, okay. Cut that out. Cut it out. Cut out all the joking. There's no joking around on this podcast. Very serious.
Yeah, good one.
Good one. It has been a boring week for us.
Bit dull.
A bit dull. It's been a little bit uneventful.
I've been doing a bit of painting and
Yeah.
other crap around the place.
Yeah.
Not much else.
Not much else. I've been working. I've been watching stuff. We had a less eventful week than Chris Evans.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Poor Chris Evans.
Oh, no. Chris Evans on Instagram stories. I'm sure you've heard the story. We won't spend too much time talking about it. But the poor guy. He's sending out like a live Instagram story. I think he was playing some kind of video or something like, just me mucking around, whatever. And at the end of the video, it cut out. And it went straight back to his camera roll, and on the camera roll was,
He shared a photo of his
his Captain America, his little captain. Oh no! Oh no! Oh dear! Poor
why
Chris
would
Evans.
somebody like that have a photo of their junk on their...
Well, he is
on their
Captain America. He is old cap, little cap. But he took it in his stride. I mean, he got a little bit of a grilling from...
He got it out of his stride.
Well, yeah. he got a bit of a grilling from a few of his contemporaries. On Twitter, Mark Ruffalo tweeted, "Chris Evans, bro, while Trump is in office, there is nothing you can possibly do to embarrass yourself." See? Silver lining. His brother, Scott Evans, wrote the next day, "Was off social media for the day yesterday, so what did I miss?" Some pretty funny comments down the bottom of that one. And then, of course, Chris Evans came out of the woodwork a couple of days later and just said, now that I've got your attention, did the little face palm and the shrugging emojis. Vote November 3rd. So that was a real smooth move there from
Was it a
from
deliberate ploy by him?
Well, who knows?
Was it his junk or was it somebody else's?
Well, who knows? Not judging.
Well, To each their own.
Exactly right. By the sounds of it, I think it was his little captain. So let's move on from that one. This is turning into trash radio. Trash radio. Disgusting. Disgusting. That's the end of the show, guys. See you later. Last episode ever. All right, cut it out. Like I said, no joking around. We've been watching a bit of stuff. As we said a few weeks ago, we've been watching the X-Men films. We sort of wanted to do that in the lead up to New Mutants, which is a new X-Men film, but that really didn't. I did open here, but because we're in Victoria, we can't get to the cinemas.
That's right.
But anyway, so we started watching them. We thought we'd continue. We watched the Wolverine, which you liked.
I enjoyed that.
I loved it. I thought it was really good. It's the best one.
Some
so
of the
far.
earlier in the series.
Yeah, the trilogy I wasn't huge on, and
it wasn't great.
That explains why I think I only ever watched them once. I don't ever remember watching them more than once as a kid.
I'd never watched them.
Never seen them.
No.
Now, I'd seen up to the Wolverine. I hadn't seen X-Men First Class, which we watched on last Sunday. So that's the start of the newer, well, not trilogy, there's like 4 or 5 of them, but the newer series of films, like the Reboot, the series. I liked it. That was quite good. I thought that was better than First Class.
The
prequel one. Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I thought that was quite good. I thought it was better than the original trilogy of movies. So it was quite good.
Most definitely.
Of course, I
think the original trilogy, they were really searching for what they wanted to do.
Well, exactly right. We got to think about it. Like this is the start of the big superhero explosion of films, the X-Men movies.
Exactly
I mean,
right.
this is before Spider-Man, and really all you had before that was stuff like Batman and Superman. I think Blade, maybe the first Blade was before X-Men as well, but nothing like on that like big grand scale superhero team up kind of thing that really did go and lead to the MCU stuff. So it's really, I found them really rocky, maybe a little cheesy in parts, but you got to look at them for what they are, for when they were made. As I've been saying, I've been trying to get through this huge stack of hundreds of titles that I've just been buying over the years and haven't had time to watch. And I'm finally taking the advantage to get up early in the morning and just watch some catalog titles that I've been needing to catch up on over the years. This last week, I watched About a Boy and Bend It Like Beckham, which I really enjoyed.
Good films.
I'd actually seen them. I'd seen them when I was a kid, but obviously didn't really appreciate them that much. It's strange about it, like I'm a huge Hugh Grant fan.
Yeah.
Huge Hugh Grant fan. And it's one that just kind of, I guess, evaded me after I saw it for that first time. Mona Lisa Smile I watched. I thought that was really good. Julia Roberts, Kirsten Dunst, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Huge cast, stacked cast. That was a really good movie. Dressed to Kill with Michael Caine.
Yeah,
it's really good thriller.
I enjoyed that.
Brian De Palma film, really great. Entrapment, that really cheesy Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones film.
Yeah, it's okay.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
It's a bit of fun. It's not a great film, but it's a bit of fun.
Here's one that we're probably both a bit divided on. Vanilla Sky.
Don't start me on
Vanilla Sky. I watched it and I think I really liked it.
I just find it a piece of shit, basically.
It's a weird movie. So weird. You have to just like really concentrate the whole time and just really like try and keep up with it. And strange. Sometimes I just
found it really self-indulgent.
I don't know. I don't know if Cameron Crowe is that kind of director. Like he did Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, I know. I love Jerry Maguire.
I don't know. I don't know if I saw it that way. I think maybe Tom Cruise's acting in parts is a bit over the top, really hammy, really crazy. I don't know. There's just something about that I really
hammy. It's
I think I just really like the. I don't know. I think it's one that I have to go back to at some point when I can spare the extra 2.5 hours again.
I think I walked in on it about halfway through, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I probably need to sit down.
You probably need to go from the beginning again. I feel like it's a movie that was like, I know it's like probably a really pretentious thing to say, or something that's probably just like really cheesy to say, but I feel like it was a movie that was ahead of its time. It's the kind of movie that you didn't see a lot of back then, which is just the whole just sort of, I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and I want to go back and there was a Spanish version originally. Which Penelope Cruz was actually in as well.
That's right. Yeah, she was too.
Redid her role in Vanilla Sky.
I can't remember the name of it.
I think it's called Open Your Eyes or something. I believe it was called. But anyway, I'm going to try and track that one down. And we finished the second season of Yellowstone.
Fabulous finish to the second season.
Yeah, great. Such a good show. Kevin Costner on a ranch with all these ranch hands and, oh, man, just great. Just crazy stuff to kick it off. We really enjoyed that.
Yeah, really good show. Just got to get season 3 now. Watch season
It's season 3. I think it's on Stan, so we might have to get the Stan free trial and watch it.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that soon, yeah. And what's that sound? Woo! You know what that means?
It's a Deadwood update.
Deadwood update, yes. I screwed the pooch. I said Deadwood before. Deadwood update. Now, last week we said we finally picked up Deadwood for the 3rd time. It's not the 3rd time we've watched the whole series. This is the 3rd time we've actually attempted to watch the show. We've started to watch the show. We had watched 2 episodes before last show, and this week we've managed to get in
2 more
another
episodes.
2 episodes. So
2 episodes a week. We should be done by Christmas 2021, maybe?
Something like that, I don't know. Yeah, but no, we're slowly getting there. It's just trying to find the time between Yellowstone and whatever else is on television at the moment. It's good, it's enjoyable. But it's one of those ones you just have to, they're like 60-minute episodes each.
Yeah.
You just got to have the time.
Yep.
You just got to have the time for it.
Great show, though. Love it.
Really, really good show.
The 4 episodes we've watched, I've watched those 4. I don't know how many you've seen.
We watched it together, but I don't remember any of it.
I remember what happened in the 4th season. 4th episode.
Oh yeah, last night's one with Bill Hickok. That's like one of the only things I remember from it.
Yeah,
and
the next episode or 2 I remember as well because
I don't know, we'll have to see.
Because you've got the little girl that they saved from that.
Yeah,
and I know what happens to the
I know
little
she
girl.
Comes back. I don't know,
and everything else. So so I'm at least that far down. I know that much. It's a matter of getting to season.
I don't think we ever made it out of the first season. We'll do it this time, though. We'll do it.
For definitely.
How? Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So let's get that done.
Let's get that done. We will get that done. A couple of weeks ago, I said on the podcast, it was the last show, I think it was the first show we did. I had been up since like 2 a.m. Because my friends over at Disney had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to take part in a press junket, which was awesome. The first press junket I've done. I've done like red carpet
for Disney anyway.
For Disney, well, I've done a lot of red carpet things before, but this is the first thing where I had a proper one-on-one kind of interview thing. It was virtual, of course, because the whole COVID thing. But this is an opportunity I definitely wouldn't have had it not been, I guess, the COVID thing or whatever, find a silver lining, whatever. But it was for the upcoming Disney Plus film called Secret Society of Second-Born Royals. It releases this Friday, September 25th. It stars Peyton Elizabeth Lee, Isabella Blake Thomas, Olivia Deeble, who is a fellow Melburnian, Niles Fitch, Noah Lomax, and I hope I can pronounce this correctly, Faili Rakato Havana. That's the cast. Rakato Havana. And I interviewed all of them. They're all really, really lovely people. We're going to play just a very small snippet of the interview that I did with Peyton Elizabeth Lee, and just have a listen. Hi, my name's Dave. I'm calling from Dave Lee Down Under in Australia. I saw the film a couple of days ago. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fantastic. Peyton, you've obviously been part of the Disney family for a while with your role on Disney Channel's Andy Mack. How exciting is it for you to now make the jump to be a Disney princess, pretty much an original Disney princess, one all of your own?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing journey so far, being a part of the Disney family. There's nothing like it. It's so special. And, every kid, or not every kid, but most kids grow up watching Disney Channel and, loving the shows and the movies. And I mean, I can speak from personal experience. So much of my childhood was sort of centered around Wizards of Waverly Place and all of those shows, So to sort of think about the idea that I might be a part of those core Disney memories for this new generation is very exciting. And I'm just so humbled and happy to be a part of it all.
What do you think the importance of a story like this is at this specific moment in time? What do you hope people take from it?
Yeah, I think this film couldn't be coming out at a better time, for 2 main reasons. Firstly, because it's such a happy film, it's full of hope and light. And those are 2 things that we don't really have a lot of right now. So I think being able to add a little bit of, just fun and happiness to the world and to someone's day is going to be huge. And also, I think the themes of embracing who you are and loving yourself and others, because we are all unique individuals, and being able to come together because of that and find togetherness in our uniqueness and in what makes us different. That's a huge thing that we need to work on right now as a society, because right now we're letting our differences tear us apart. And, there's no way for that to ever work well, so.
I guess superhero films are really huge at the moment. What do you think sets apart Secret Society from all the other films that are out there and TV shows that are out there at the moment?
I'm going to say that I think it's great that this film kind of breaks the mold of what people might think a princess should be or might think a superhero should be, and sort of like stands apart from those stereotypes, which I think is.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you for your time, guys. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Awesome. So there you go. That was a lot of fun to take part in. And once again, my review for that film, which I thought was quite fun. It's a Disney Plus film, but it was made by Disney Channel. So it's got that really Disney Channel kind of television feel. I thought it was all right. I think the kids are going to enjoy it. I think for the kind of film that it was, which isn't particularly something that I would usually watch, I thought it was okay. I thought it was enjoyable. It kind of had like a Arrowverse kind of feel, like the CW programs. So my full review for that film should be up on YouTube now if you're listening to this. And the full interviews with the entire cast that I did, I think it's probably like 15 minutes worth of interviews, will go up on the channel later this week as well. Last week, Disney, again, my friends over at Disney contacted me again and said they did. And this is something that was very exciting for me as well. They reached out to me, my contact over at the theatrical team, because like I've said, I've got contact. You got to deal with people from Disney Plus, the theatrical team, et cetera, et cetera. So this was a contact from the theatrical team reached out and said, do you mind if we use your quote from your review for Mulan on a digital spot to be launched across digital, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. So they showed me the quote and my name, and like when you go into doing like film criticism and stuff, film reviewing, whatever you want to call it, for as long as I've been doing it, probably 10 years for various different outlets or whatever, the big goal is always like, you want a pull quote. The quote where they pull the quote out of your review and they slap it on like a trailer or on a poster or a DVD cover or something. It's like always building up, like, I want that pull quote. Give me that pull quote. And finally, Disney reached out to me and asked if they could use a quote from my Mulan review in the localized digital spot for Mulan.
Yep.
I said, yes, absolutely. Yes, please. Next day they came back to me and they said, I've actually got that wrong. I thought, oh no, they're not going to use it. But he says, no, he said, what it actually is a television commercial. I thought, oh shit, that's even better. Yeah, go for it. The next day he comes back and goes, oh look, I got it wrong again. It is actually digital, but it will be a TV spot as well. And then they asked me, can we use this quote as well? So there was a second quote they put. I said, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, do it. I love it. So anyway, they have launched the digital spot. They launched it on television. We haven't seen it on TV yet.
No, we've seen the digital one.
Seen the digital one. A couple of people have written in and said, oh, yeah, we saw it on TV. I think they played it like during the finale of The Masked Singer on Channel 10, which we don't watch, obviously, because we didn't see it. But let's have a look. You'll hear them read out my little quote in this little digital spot. This was found on Facebook.
We have excellent news.
Critics everywhere are celebrating Mulan.
That's me. I'm one of the critics.
It's visually
That's not me. This is me coming up. Get ready.
Impeccable cinematography.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Impeccable cinematography. Yes. I did it. I got a pull quote. Like, how cool is that? That's awesome. Like, this is on like a proper ad. I've had people writing in saying, congratulations, that's fantastic.
Life's goals ticked off.
One of the goals ticked off. I've had other people writing in going, it's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. You should be ashamed. I say, no, I'm not ashamed. I like the movie, and I'm happy to have my review stuck on the trailer for that film. And I've
got to own it.
Yeah, exactly right. And I've had other people writing in going, give me context. How was it impeccable cinematography? And I go, hang on a minute. They pulled 2 words from like a 10-minute YouTube review. If you want the context, you go and look at the review. Yep. Apparently, this is something that's really common with a lot of critics, is that people will just pick apart, like, the pull quote. Like, you haven't given any, like, you haven't embellished on it. Yeah, like, people are, there's some crazy people out there, man.
Well, it's like as crazy as, people watching videos of people playing video games.
Well, exactly right. Won't go there. My girlfriend does it. She loves it. She's just obsessed with those, like, YouTube. Like, worth big
my
money.
Generation, we've got no idea.
Worth big money. But I sit there and I watch people talking shit about movies. People are listening to us talking shit about movies.
Just talking shit.
Exactly right. But Disney Plus, again, we'll stick on the Disney Plus course. The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh, man, big news for the Mandalorian.
You've seen the trailer, yeah.
Saw the trailer for season 2, which is looks really cool. We'll take a very quick look at the trailer for the second season of The Mandalorian, which launched earlier this week.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
Ooh,
This is the way.
This is the way. Mandalorian season 2. What do you think?
It looks great. I enjoyed the first season.
Yeah.
And if it's anything like the first season, it's probably better.
Mm.
Have they got a bigger budget for it, maybe?
I don't know, actually.
Because they had a huge budget for the first season.
It was enormous for a TV show, yeah.
And we watched that doco on how it was made with the...
Well, yeah, incredible stuff.
Unbelievable the way they made it.
Incredible the way they did it with the virtual
virtual backgrounds.
Background, yeah, like a big, essentially like a big video screen.
Yeah,
which
filled the whole...
the whole
soundstage.
And they can render it real time within a game engine, so the camera moves and the background moves. It essentially replaces green screen technology, which is insane.
Unbelievable.
Like, it's crazy. Obviously, Jon Favreau and his team over at Lucasfilm have been have pioneered this, but it goes back even as far as the work he did on The Jungle Book and The Lion King. No matter what you think about The Lion King, there's a lot of people out there who didn't like the remake, but the visual effects in that film, incredible, groundbreaking stuff. And you can't fault that. You can't say that it wasn't, because incredible.
No, that's right.
Incredible visual effects. But yeah, so the series has been recognised actually for the visual achievements. Mm-hmm. The Emmy Awards have been this week. They've done, I don't know if this is because of COVID, they've split it up across the whole week, or whether they usually do it this way. I
thought they might have done the technical awards and stuff early, and they don't. Like when all those award shows are televised, you don't see all the awards being given.
No. Well, I know the Academy does like a separate night, but for the Academy of Film and Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, who do the film awards, the Oscars, they hold their technical awards on one night. It's just like a dinner with all the people.
Yeah, that's right.
Industry people, and they play a clip show during the Emmys. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they do that for the Emmys. They play that during the Oscar ceremony, but maybe they do that for the Emmys as well. I imagine they would, because there's so many awards. But this year they've actually not televised. They've streamed it online 4 or 5 days in a row. So all the technical awards have been handed out at the time of this recording. This is correct, but we know that by the time this has gone out, a few things will have changed.
Yeah, there'll be.
So it was up for 15 nominations, The Mandalorian, the first season, which is not bad for Disney Plus's first series to scrape out with
fantastic.
15 nominations.
You'd be happy with that.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. It's taken away 5 wins so far. Special visual effects, cinematography for single camera series, half hour, sound mixing and sound editing for comedy or drama, half hour, and production design for a narrative program. It has so far lost awards for prosthetic makeup for a series, limited series, movie or special. Lost that to Star Trek Picard. Ooh, Star Wars lost that to Star Trek.
Ooh, let's start that whole
dear.
Star Wars, Star Trek argument.
Yep. Sci-fi fantasy costumes, it lost to Watchmen. Single camera picture editing for a drama, it lost. There was actually 3 episodes nominated in that single category.
Really?
3 episodes for the one program, and Succession won over that, which I believe had 2 episodes nominated, and one of the Succession episodes won. Now, still up for Sunday. So if you're watching this on the Saturday, then this hasn't happened yet, but if you're listening to this on the Monday, this has already happened, so This might be a bit out of date. But anyway, it's still up for Outstanding Music Composition. It's up for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for Giancarlo Esposito, who played Moff Gideon. Of course, Gus Fring.
Gus.
Brilliant. He was fantastic in that. Outstanding Stunt Coordination. An outstanding character voiceover performance for Taika Waititi, who played IG-11, which is awesome. He was the robot.
Yeah, I thought his voice was better in
Korg. in Thor Ragnarok. Well, let's hope he picks up something. But he's actually up against a few people here. But Hank Azaria and Nancy Cartwright are both nominated for The Simpsons. And this is Nancy Cartwright's, I think she won in 92 or 93.
Yeah, something like that.
But that was like
part of an ensemble.
It was an ensemble cast award. I don't think it was actually like a proper category back then. From what I was reading, it was like almost like one of those honorary things where they just kind of just go, well, here you go, you can have one this year, you can have one. So the ensemble of The Simpsons won that year. She was nominated again 2017, but didn't win, and she's up for it again this year. So I'd like her to win one.
That'd be fantastic.
I think that'd be great.
Having played the same character for
over 30 years. But Taika Waititi, I don't know, man.
I love Taika Waititi.
I love
his
the guy.
films are the killer.
Oh, they're
great.
He's my favourite director at the moment, I think.
So Boy? Is it Boy called Boy? That was a great film.
Good.
I love that film.
The vampire one, What We Do in the Shadows, brilliant.
Yeah.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
That is fabulous.
Oh, just good. Just everything he's done is so good.
Everything he touches.
Good. I love the guy.
Yeah.
And of course, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit is
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he's got a great sense of humour, and it's that real sort of Kiwi Aussie sort of sense of humour, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like he's just great. He's great. So season 2 comes out October 30th this year. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I enjoyed the first. I'm not one. I know there's a lot of people who loved it, thought it was like fantastic, like best Star Wars like ever. I wasn't in love with it, but I thought it was a great series, and technically, of course, fantastic.
Yeah, when once you know what they did to achieve it, technically, you just
astounding.
Yeah.
Like there's a document. If you haven't seen it, there's a documentary series. You watched it with me, or watched parts of it with me, called Disney Gallery. It's like this series that they're going to do. I think they're going to do each season's going to be like based on a different series or whatever that they've made for Disney Plus. And the first season of it was Mandalorian, a whole series worth of little behind-the-scenes documentaries, which essentially added up to like something like 8-hour, essentially like an 8-hour documentary on the making of The Mandalorian. Fascinating. But there's one episode in there in particular that goes over like the technical achievements and stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely at least check that episode out, because it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Yeah. What boggles my mind is the minds that go into creating that.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, ever since I was a kid, I've been interested in, like, one of the first like filmmaking books I ever read was Andy Serkis's book that he wrote on how they put Gollum together for Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was astounding back in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and just reading him, obviously Andy Serkis is the performer, but he was so involved with Peter Jackson and the production team in crafting the character and how they like revolutionized motion capture technology and stuff. So I was always fascinated with that, and to kind of see that progress over the last like 20 years and how quickly it's all progressed is insane. And like Star Wars Episode 2, Episode 3, which were like the first big movies to shoot digital, to shoot with like Episode 3 was almost entirely shot on green screen. So but you growing up in the 1960s and watching stuff like the Thunderbirds.
I love the Thunderbirds.
And you come up to something
Anybody else out there love the Thunderbirds? I love it.
Amazing. Great show. But like, you've gone from seeing stuff like that to something like The Mandalorian on television.
Exactly.
Insane.
And even when you were at uni and you had the mocap.
Oh yeah, the mocap. Yeah.
That was incredible
crazy
to see that. And then you go and watch. Some guy prancing around with Gollum on the screen complete, and you think, wow.
Insane, yeah. No, I took a unit in motion capture.
Yeah.
Which is insane, like crazy. Yeah. I don't think I did very well in the unit, but I was just fascinated. I was just really interested in it. And that was like one of like the deciding factors for me to go to that university was because I had a motion capture studio. And it was only one unit. It was only for like, I guess, one trimester. But it was just awesome just to play around with it, get in the suit. And play. Oh, it's so cool.
I would have loved it. Would have been great fun.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But yeah, so there's a bit of streaming wars going on at the moment. There has been streaming wars going on for probably the last couple of years now. Yeah. Of course, Netflix were the first big one. And there was a point where Netflix had everything. They had movies from everyone. They had their own television series. One-stop shop for everything. You don't need cable anymore. Why do you need cable for? Why do you need DVDs? Why do you need whatever? You've got Netflix, one-stop shop. Well, all the major studios have, as we all know, realised that there's
a market
for this. And they have all kind of started branching out and starting their own streaming services. And as they're doing this, they're kind of taking all the content away from Netflix.
Well,
and
Disney Plus was
the first major one, and all the other studios have essentially followed in them. Disney, I mean, the studio, like this is the huge conglomerate that essentially controls the entertainment empire, and all the other studios, they follow whatever the hell that Disney does. And it's been like this since Walt Disney was there. You wait till Walt Disney does it, he tries it, if successful, you do it. Yeah. And it's that same mindset now, like 90 years later, almost 100 years later. It's crazy. Disney Plus, of course, came out. We've had Warner Brothers launch HBO Max earlier this year over in the States. Universal, NBC have their own streaming service over in the States called Peacock. And now Paramount.
Yeah, they're just about to launch. They launch here next year, don't they?
Yeah, 2021. It's being launched globally, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that is actually because Paramount is owned by CBS. Well, Paramount owns CBS. I don't know, whatever way around it is. They have a streaming platform over there called CBS All Access over in the States.
Yep.
And because CBS owns Channel 10 here in Australia, we have 10.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, they're the parent company of Channel
really?
10. Yeah, CBS.
We don't own anything here in Australia anymore, do we?
No, not
I don't
anymore.
think we even own Vegemite anymore.
No, we don't. Oh, no, it's crazy. But yeah, so CBS owns Channel 10 here, so we have 10 All Access. So next year, CBS All Access, 10 All Access, whatever they have in any other places around the world, All Access is being rebranded as Paramount Plus.
Oh my God!
What do you think of the name?
Well, they're just ripping off Disney.
Exactly right. Well, this is the third one now. Third streaming service that has a plus: Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus.
Apple TV Plus. I didn't realise.
Yeah, well, because Apple TV is the service where you can. Is essentially that box. Box where you can like just stream stuff from various platforms. But then their specific streaming service is Apple TV Plus. Which was, of course, announced after Disney Plus.
It's going to cost me a fortune.
Well, we'll get into that for sure. So, yeah, Paramount Plus, which is not really an original name, let's be honest. But anyway, that's launching, and that will make them really the only studio that doesn't have their own streaming service is Sony. Sony Columbia. So Sony owns the entire Columbia Studios back catalogue.
You can imagine they'll hop on board pretty quickly.
Yeah, I reckon. And of course, they've got heaps of movies. They make tons of movies every year, Sony. But because they've got like PlayStation and stuff, maybe that's why they haven't. Who knows? I don't know. But you can see that all of these, Disney, Fox, who are all under the same banner, Warner Brothers, Universal, Paramount, all have got their own streaming services now. The only one left out is Sony Columbia. And I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
I just actually remember there is another streaming service with a plus, ESPN Plus, which was actually the first one, but that's owned by Disney. So that's kind of like a compendium to Disney Plus.
It's not on Disney Plus, though, is it?
Not ESPN. In Australia, but it is overseas. You can get like a bundle with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, but not here yet. What we're actually going to get here next year is a service, I believe it's called Star, which is going to be an add-on to Disney Plus, which bundles up all the Fox catalog, because there's not really a lot of Fox stuff on Disney Plus at the moment. So I don't know if they'll bring in ESPN with that or whatever, but yeah, so apparently it's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to be a separate service or whether it's like a split portion of the Disney Plus app. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But yeah, so essentially the big thing now is, Netflix started to rival cable. You didn't need cable anymore. But now all these companies have realized, well, there's a market here for streaming services. And we've essentially reinvented cable. And probably killed cable.
Oh, it'll kill cable
in the long run. So
because we've got cable here in Australia,
Foxtel,
which is Foxtel. It's our only cable provider.
Yeah,
here in Australia, and I think I pay, I don't know, maybe about $120 odd bucks a month for that.
Yeah,
and I've already seen content leaving Foxtel.
Oh, yeah.
Like we don't have Showtime anymore.
Well, exactly right.
That's all gone.
Well, CBS owns Showtime.
Yeah. So Showtime's
pissing off to... I believe... I'm not too sure about this, but I think a lot of the Showtime stuff is on 10 All Access because 10 CBS...
Yeah, you can still get some here, but it's not on Foxtel anymore.
Yeah, of course.
So it's going to get to a point where I'm going to dump Foxtel.
Well, Disney Channels left Foxtel when Disney Plus came in. We've lost all the Australian music channels have pissed off.
Everything's owned by MTV, I think.
Yeah, it is, which is Viacom, who owns Nickelodeon. So a lot of Foxtel is like is Viacom content now, which is insane. So that's crazy. But look, these are the streamers available in Australia alone. So if we broke this down, you have Netflix, you have Stan, Amazon Prime, Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, Star, which is probably coming soon, which is the Fox branch off of Disney Plus, maybe ESPN Plus, HBO, which is Warner Brothers, HBO, Peacock, which is the Universal one, and Paramount Plus will all be coming soon next year. We've got one called Binge, which is actually Foxtel's streaming service. They own one called Binge.
Yeah.
KO Sport, which is owned by Foxtel as well. That's all the That's all the sports channels.
Well, Foxtel are setting themselves up, aren't they?
Exactly right.
To be dumped.
Exactly right. Hey You Reality, which is owned by NBC Universal. Shudder, which is a horror movies TV, owned by AMC. Got one called Acorn, which is British television series. That's owned by AMC as well. Next year, BritBox is coming in, which is British TV as well, which is owned by BBC and ITV. So we can probably say goodbye to Acorn once BritBox is in. I Wonder is a documentary one, which I wasn't too familiar with, but that's owned by James Bridges, who is the ex-head of content over at Foxtel. And there's 2 free streaming services called Canopy and Tubi. So there is at least...
And there's another one you can get access to called Quibi, I think it's called.
Yeah. Which is another free one.
Yeah.
So there's at least 18, nearly 20 coming, including those that are coming soon next year. Here in Australia alone. USA, there's multitudes of other ones as well. So this is, if you were to subscribe to every single one of them, essentially, look, if you look at all of that, you've got content from all the major studios. You've got television shows, you've got British television shows, you have got your sports package, you've got your reality, you've got your horror, you've got your documentaries. That's everything that cable offers.
Yep.
Absolutely everything. So essentially, if you bought all of these back up, you've rebundled your cable subscription.
Exactly right.
Right? So all up, that's close to $180, maybe $250 if you were to buy all of them. I mean, most of them are like $10. Some of them are like $25. I think KO is a little bit more expensive, like $25, $30 or something like that.
Yeah, I think KO is $25 and Netflix is, $15 or something?
Like that, yeah. Disney Plus is, I think, on the lower end, $9, $10. So the cable bill, as you said, is about $104 for all packs. I looked on Foxtel, so it sounds like you're getting ripped off. You might have to get
No. So we've got 2 boxes.
Oh, we got the 2 boxes.
You've got to pay extra for the second box.
So apparently, it's $104 for all packs. But if you want single packs, so these days you can kind of just pick and choose what you want. You just want movies, you just want reality, you just want sport, whatever.
Yep.
It's between $25 to $55, depending on what package you want, right? So it's about the same cost of getting cable. Maybe a little bit more expensive if you were to get all the streaming services. It's around about the same cost as cable. But now you have control over what content you actually get.
Yeah, and you can chop and change month to month.
Exactly right.
Providing they'll get wise to that, and they'll start putting you on plans. And they'll say,
exactly
okay, well, you've got to sign up for 12 months.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't be doing that.
For sure. Well, Disney Plus offers the 12-month plan.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if it's the only one, but Netflix doesn't offer the 12-month, does it?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Got to look into that. Well, you pay the monthly for the Netflix, but Disney Plus, I've paid for the full year. But yeah, you can like chop and change. Like, how much on cable do we not watch? Just hundreds of channels. And
there's
probably watch like
channels.
10.
There's probably. Oh, really? There's really probably 4, maybe 5 channels. We regularly watch on cable. And there's, I don't know how many, 60 channels or something?
Something like that.
Maybe more, I don't know. Yeah. And when we watch because we've got, in Australia, we have free-to-air. Then we have anti-siphoning laws and all those sorts of things. So we've got, what have we got? We've got the ABC, 7, 9, 10.
SBS.
And SBS.
Yeah.
So there's 5 free-to-air channels.
And Channel 31, local community TV.
Yeah, that's right, can't forget them.
No, I got my start.
So you've got 6. That's right. So you've got 6 free-to-air channels. Yet we don't watch it through digital.
Yeah.
We watch it through the Foxtel because we can then chop and change from a Foxtel channel to a free-to-air channel.
Yeah.
But it's just going to get to a point where I'll dump Foxtel because there's nothing on it.
Well, Foxtel...
And they play a lot of old content.
Yeah, it's like all the good stuff's being ripped off. They have Foxtel Now or Foxtel Go or whatever it's called, which is actually a streaming service add-on to your Foxtel where you can stream most of the content that's being played on Foxtel channels. There's like new to rent movies and stuff. It's essentially like Apple TV or Amazon where you can just like rent movies and stuff. So I think that's probably the way that Foxtel is probably going to try and push.
Oh, for sure.
But with all these studios opening their own streaming services, there's going to be nothing for anyone.
If you look at that list there, Foxtel are setting themselves up with
exactly
Binge and KO because I mean, I've been reluctant to get rid of Foxtel for ages, and I think I'm still on a bloody contract, which is probably up until probably March next year, maybe.
And you've been on it for like 20 years.
Oh yeah, exactly. We've had it for years,
forever.
But no, sorry, because it used to be carried by our telecommunications provider with Optus.
Optus, yeah.
So we used to have Optus TV, which they now have their own. Yeah. Their own one. I forget what that's called now.
I don't remember.
Anyway, but it's basically a chopped down version of Foxtel anyway.
Yeah.
And then when we went to when the NBN came through, Optus couldn't carry it anymore. Yeah. So they dumped and we had to go directly to Foxtel. That's why I'm on a contract now.
Yeah.
And I think that contract runs out probably March or April next year, and that's probably when I'll get rid of it. But one of the reasons I've kept it or been reluctant to get rid of it is because I love my sport.
Oh yeah, exactly. You got sports.
I love watching the AFL and the NRL and the NFL started last week, and I'm wrapped about that being back and NBA and all this sort of stuff. And I love watching my sport. I always have, and that's been one reason I've been reluctant to get rid of Foxtel. And because I've got it all there.
When I was a kid, you had Disney Channel, you had Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. I was watching all that stuff as a kid. There's nothing on those channels that I watch anymore.
Great babysitter.
Yeah.
Great babysitter.
I don't really watch anything on cable myself. It's just you, and you've got your car shows and like porn stars and
PAWN.
But there's nothing on there that I really watch. I don't really watch much TV. It's either like streaming or DVDs and stuff, Blu-rays.
Yeah, well for me it's just shows like Fast and Loud and
all that kind of stuff.
What's it called? Kindy
reality stuff.
Yeah, Kindy
special interest.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, and renovation programs and stuff like that I'm really interested in. Yeah. And of course, your mother, she likes to watch food programs.
Yeah.
So she watches a few of the cooking programs and stuff. But we wouldn't miss them if we didn't have them.
No, exactly right.
Because most of it's old content. Like the last couple of weeks, I've been watching some Fast and Loud and stuff. Now, I've just finished watching a new season, and now I'm thinking, oh shit, what's left? So now I'm watching some of the old crap again, and so I still enjoy watching them. But if they're not there, I'm not gonna miss them.
Well, you've been watching episodes of American Chopper that you probably watched 10 years ago as well.
Right. Yeah.
It's just all the old stuff now. It's
in fact, the American Chopper, I've just watched the season that we've only just had on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was the last season of it. Senior, I think senior versus junior or something like that. Anyway, it was after the Tuttles had all sort of split up and Paul Jr. had gone his way and all that sort of stuff. And there was some episodes in there that I'd not seen or they hadn't played or whatever, and I've just sort of watched those. And now they're playing some older ones again that I'm sort of watching a little bit of those. But so
the point is really there's no point in having cable anymore.
No, that's right.
You just pick and choose what you want. You get your sports, you get your Disney Plus.
Yep.
You'll get maybe ESPN if the ESPN Plus comes in, because that's the only thing that's not included in KO at the moment, as far as I'm aware.
Well, the good thing for me with watching the sport though is, I mean, when all this happens, and because I think, don't quote me, I think that some of the in the US, in America, they've got two or three major networks that play the football, the NFL.
Yeah.
And some of the games we don't get here because we don't get the ones that I think CBS or something have, but we get the ones the games that ESPN have, and I think maybe Fox have. I can't remember, right. But the ones that Fox or whoever it is has, they play that on one of our free to air secondary channels, 7 mate, I think. So there are a lot of games that we miss. And I'm a New England Patriots fan, and we get most of those games, but there are some we don't have. So it'd be good for me because I'll be able to pick up KO and ESPN. I think's on KO at the moment anyway.
Right. Okay.
So I'll be able to just pick that up and watch most of the stuff on there anyway.
So anyway, we'll have, with all the streaming services, you're essentially going to have everything that you had on Foxtel at one point or another.
Yeah.
So you just essentially build your own bundle, and you might end up walking away spending like $50 or $60 a month, and it'll be cheaper than cable.
Because for argument's sake, you'll have Stan for a month or two, and you think, oh well, there's nothing else I want to watch on that, and in 6 months' time, some new content will come out that you want to watch. They go, I'll pay for another month.
Right. You just chop and change. Disney Plus 1 month, then you go to Amazon 1 month and watch the Grand Tour, Top Gear. And then you go to Apple. I haven't watched the last couple. So we've got to get onto that for sure. I threw out onto Twitter, just kind of get a general idea of what people are thinking about this. Pulp Cereal says CBS, a long-time viewer, actually. Very, very long-time viewer, actually. Pulp Cereal says CBS All Access did not work very well. It constantly crashed on me. I hated it. I like Pluto TV. Which is a free service over in America as well. I don't want a paid service, especially when a lot of Viacom stuff is already on Pluto for free. Will Pluto get pulled? Who knows? Don't know too much about Pluto. Pete Semos says, he says a bit of originality into the name wouldn't hurt. That's in relation to Disney, Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, yeah.
Pete Semos. Bulig. I wish movie and TV streaming was more like Apple Music and Spotify, where there are multiple different services with basically the same stuff. Streaming has basically become the new cable. He says,
right.
I forgot a name, says, do you think this could lead to something similar to the video game crash of 1983? Now, essentially, in 1983, the video game market got completely saturated. Sales dropped. People stopped buying consoles. People stopped buying games. And the whole market just kind of imploded on itself.
It was probably the old Ataris and stuff.
Yeah, it would have been back then, right?
Yeah. With the pedals.
Yeah, and there's a story about how it was like this E.T. game. They made so many copies of E.T., didn't sell, they went and buried it in a desert somewhere in America. Yeah, there's apparently just thousands of this old E.T. game buried in the desert. Yeah.
Oh,
so I imagine
someone should go hunting for them.
Yeah.
Might be worth a few bob.
I don't know if it will lead to something like that where it's going to implode because, again, I feel like people are just going to just pick and choose what they want. I think it's going to be just an easier way for people to get the content they want without all the other crap that they don't want to watch, and just more like you say, you get away with spending $10 a month. You just have one service at a time,
yeah.
you know, and you just watch what you want to watch. I think it's a much easier way to control what and how you view your content.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, Ben Stokes calls it a natural progression of consuming content. Give the people what they want. Am I right?
Yep.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So
I've always been a believer in pay, user pay, and if it's something you want to watch, you'll pay for it.
Exactly right. And now here's a few things that we want to watch. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. It launched in 1990, September 10. So it's even older than me, that series.
Yeah.
Not by much, but it's a little bit older than me. HBO Max, going to the HBO Max, Warner Brothers streaming service, is a reunion special. So Will Smith and all the cast have got back together. It's just they've gone back on, they've rebuilt the sets, and they're just chatting like a reunion, like what they were going to do with the Friends special, or they are going to, but that's been delayed because of COVID. HBO said it's an unscripted special looking back at the series and the cultural impact the series has had since its debut. Funny, heartfelt night of music, dancing, and more special surprise guests in honor of the series that ran for 6 seasons and 148 episodes. And there's the whole cast, even includes Janet Hubert, who was the original Aunt Viv. Now, do you remember 2 or 3 seasons into the show?
Yeah, they changed her out.
Changed her out.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith and her apparently
didn't get along.
Creative differences. Exactly, right. And they haven't spoken since. And they've both kind of fired shots at each other in the media over the years. Like he's blamed the whole thing on her, saying, she was controlling on set. She's blamed everything on him for being, a big egotist and everything else. But she's come back, and her and Will Smith had a one-on-one sit-down for the first time in 27 years.
Oh, my God.
Apparently it's...
maybe he's grown up a bit.
Well, yeah. Well, you'd hope so. You'd hope so. But, yeah, apparently it's very candid and it's a little bit awkward. So it's going to be an interesting one to sit through. There's also going to be a scripted drama. They're rebooting The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a scripted drama. Now, essentially what happened was last year a young filmmaker by the name of Morgan Cooper uploaded a fake teaser trailer or fake trailer for Bel-Air, which was like a dramatic reimagining of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We've got a very small clip of it right here that we'll play.
You are carrying a gun on the streets to protect yourself? I've done my best, Will. But it's time for a change. You're going to Bel-Air to live with your uncle and your auntie.
Bel-Air, out of all places.
This is a second chance, Will. Don't waste it.
Will, I will not bail you out again. In this house, I'm not Uncle Phil. I'm the law. Have I made myself absolutely clear? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, right. So,
fabulous.
So essentially what's happened is this guy, this filmmaker, Morgan Cooper, made this video, went viral. The version I saw had 6 million views. I don't know if that was the original upload that I saw or someone else's re-upload it. Millions of views. Will Smith caught wind of it, and both Smith and Cooper are teaming up to adapt this trailer into a full-length series reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a gritty drama. Now, you first hear that, you think, well, that just sounds like shit.
Sounds like a load of shit. But
look at that trailer and you go, holy shit.
That is beautifully made, beautifully shot, beautifully acted.
You have to check out the trailer.
Yeah.
You got to
get on. What's it?
It's just on YouTube. It's just called Bel-Air.
Bel-Air.
So if you type in Bel-Air or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air drama, whatever, it comes up. Looks amazing. Like, that's something I want to watch.
Most definitely, I'll watch that.
And it's taken lines from the original series and obviously just re-envisioned everything in like a more, like the original series is so over the top and so embellished. It's like a more realistic, gritty, grounded sort of take on it.
Yeah.
And usually when you say, you're going to do a gritty reboot and stuff, it's just like, why are you bothering? But I think this is going to be, and it couldn't come at a better time than right now. With the high tensions in the world and everything that's going on, I think it's the perfect time. So HBO Max, it's being shopped around to all the streamers apparently. HBO Max, Peacock and Netflix are among, the Hollywood Reporter says are among the high bidders. I imagine it'll probably go to HBO Max considering Will Smith has just done the Fresh Prince reunion for HBO Max. It's also going to be produced by Will Smith, Quincy Jones and Benny Medina, who produced the original series. And the original creators, Andy and Susan Borowitz, are all set to return as executive producers as well. The showrunner will be Chris Collins, who showran The Wire, Crash, and Sons of Anarchy. and he's going to be as an executive producer, and he's set to co-write the script alongside Morgan Cooper, the filmmaker who made that original trailer. So how crazy is this?
Yeah. Is there any news as to whether this Morgan Cooper is actually going to be in it, or
don't know if he's going to be in it or whether he's just behind the scenes?
Is Will Smith going to be in it, or is he just produced?
Don't know.
As a producer?
Nothing. This is all we know so far. So I don't know anything about cast. I imagine Will Smith's got to like pop up at some point and sort of do a little cameo or something. Really. But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to that. And I believe that's probably going to be sometime 2022, 21, maybe if they fast track it.
In that trailer that they.
Jazz
isn't it too,
Jazz
isn't he?
Jeff, yeah. Well, you got to have all those characters.
Yeah,
so that's going to be really
I'm
good.
really looking forward to that.
I can't wait to that.
If that comes to fruition, that'll be fantastic.
Well, like I said, the original series debuted.
So get online and have a look.
Check
It's really worth a look.
Yeah, good. It gives you a good idea of what the series is going to be like, hopefully. But like I grew up with this series. It debuted in 1990, a year before I was born. I watched it as a kid. When I was like early teens, I got all the DVDs. I rewatched it from the beginning. Just love the show. Great show. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with this. Also, Fresh Prince news quickly. You can, if you want to fork out $30, you can rent out the original house. Now, it's not the house. Obviously, the interiors were sets, but the exterior of the house that you see, which is a house in Brentwood, California, a mansion rather. Will Smith has organised with Airbnb that you can rent out the house.
Does Will Smith own it, does he? Or
I don't know. Oh. I don't know. I didn't really read that far into it. Probably should have, but Will Smith has... Well, maybe, because Will Smith's organised it with Airbnb, right? So for $30 a night, and they're only offering it for like the 2nd, 5th, 8th, 11th, and 14th of October. So only a select few nights. Obviously, it must be like what do you call it? Like a lottery thing. Pick your name out of a hat. But it's 5 groups of 2, and you have to prove that you don't have COVID and that the person that you're going into the house with, you live with.
Oh, God.
So there was one report saying that you get food with it as well. Or in
well, I heard one report that it was $30 a night including food, but you heard...
I heard $40 including food. But then I looked at some articles, I couldn't find anything about the food. So I'm not too sure.
Interesting.
So that's some stuff to look forward to. There's a few other movies that have kind of been talked about throughout the week that have been announced recently. The Batman is back in production. Pattinson is COVID-free. Robert Pattinson, who allegedly, now they're saying allegedly, had COVID. He is now cleared, apparently, and he's back to work on the Batman.
It was never confirmed who had it on set.
No, exactly right. They kind of came out and they said Robert Pattinson had it. So, look, we're just assuming whoever did have it, if it was Pattinson, it's all cleared. Well, I hope he's okay, or whoever had it is okay. But Batman is back in production.
Madonna. She's writing and directing her own biopic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fraught with danger, that one, I can tell you.
Exactly right. Well, it's co-written with Diablo Cody, who wrote Juno, Tully, and Young Adult. And Amy Pascal is producing.
Might be okay. I mean, Juno and Tully, I enjoyed both of those.
Yeah, they were great. All 3 of those films were great.
I'm not sure about Young Adult. I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, I think you have seen that, yeah. It wasn't as memorable as the other 2. Well, even Tully I didn't think was that great.
I mean, Juno's
was
a great film.
Fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, me personally, someone controlling their own biopic is a recipe for disaster.
Self-indulgent.
Really
Very
self-indulgent.
But that's Madonna.
Well, exactly right. Yeah, she's been posting some crazy stuff on Instagram and stuff recently too. But like, I didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody, which was the Queen biopic, which the surviving members of Queen were all heavily involved as producers. Yeah. And like you said, it came off incredibly self-indulgent, really whitewashed. They kind of glossed over all the real controversies and stuff. Really only just kind of touched on Freddie Mercury and his battle with his disease and all that kind of stuff. It was just very glossy.
Very glossy. Yeah.
So you can imagine Madonna, who is a big stage diva, is just really going to just play this like crazy. It's just going to be over the top. It's going to be self-indulgent and just going to kind of watch over all the crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, hope not. I mean, she's in the years gone by, she's been pretty open about a lot of stuff.
I think so. Well, it could be interesting. Who knows? But I think someone...
it'll be worth a look.
It'll be worth a look for sure. What else
let's move on. Father Christmas is back. Father Christmas is back. That's the name of it, apparently.
Yeah, it's a Christmas film.
With Kelsey Grammer, John Cleese, and Elizabeth Hurley. It looks like an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah, there's 3 names that you don't really see in movies anymore.
No.
But we love Kelsey Grammer, Frasier,
love Frasier,
John Cleese, of course, Monty Python,
yep,
and Elizabeth Hurley, Austin Powers.
Yeah,
can't really think of what else she was in. Really, she's done a lot of stuff. Really.
Was she a Bond girl at one stage?
Oh,
mate.
I don't know. No, she was Austin Powers. She was, I can't remember the character's name now, but was in Austin Powers as the Bond girl of that Austin Powers film. That's currently shooting in the UK. No release date, no platform. Don't know whether it's going theatrical to cinemas or whether it's going on streaming. It sounds like a Netflix movie to me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So it could be a Netflix film. I think it's going to be one of those ones that looks so bad that you're going to have to look at it.
Although I saw something on TV the other day, where I first saw it, they said it will be released to cinemas.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Nobody's going to go to see that.
Oh, no, not the movies. That's what I mean. It sounds like Netflix movie. Sounds like it's got Netflix all over it.
Now, another favourite of ours, John C.
John C. Reilly.
Is doing I think it's released.
It's releasing very soon.
Very soon. November something, I think.
Sometime this year.
Moonbase 8.
Mm-hmm.
That looks pretty good.
Looks
it's
good.
a comedy space film.
Yeah.
A space series of about 6 episodes.
Got like a bit of like a thriller edge to it as well, drama. Yeah. It's from A24 Films, independent production company who did Midsummer, The Lighthouse, Uncut Gems, Hereditary, Moonlight, ton of other stuff. So they've all got that real sort of like thriller kind of subversive kind of thing going on. I think this could be good. Like there's a trailer for it. Looks great.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
good.
great. John C. Reilly is fantastic. It's good to see him doing like more of a comedic role sort of thing.
Yeah. SpongeBob. This is just a quick one. Just a shout out to all the Australian listeners out there. SpongeBob is getting his own channel on Foxtel. It's a pop-up channel. It's the first time Foxtel has ever launched a kids' TV pop-up channel, which kind of reminds me of the old days. They used to do these like big like 2-week-long Simpsons marathons on Fox 8. Yep.
And I get my nan, your mother, to record them all.
Yeah,
and I had like
right.
20 tapes of just all the Simpsons at one point because they just played like the entire series beginning to end. So Foxtel's launching a SpongeBob SquarePants channel for the upcoming school holidays. It's to celebrate the 20th anniversary of SpongeBob. It runs from Thursday, 17th of September to Tuesday, October 6th. It's a marathon featuring all 11 seasons, 240 episodes, and more than 480 hours of nautical nonsense. So I think that's going to be a bit of fun.
We're running out of time.
We are running out of time.
And we throw in a couple of quick
questions here today
from patrons.
Yep.
Who have we got here? Tushar Sharma.
Yes, patron.
Choose 2 franchises and the rest would be forever deleted.
Righto.
Really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Well, we've got
Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter.
I've got to delete.
Toy Story, MCU.
Oh, I've got to choose 2.
Choose 2. Only have 2.
I can't be without my MCU.
Yep.
I can probably be without Star Wars for the rest of my life. The amount of just crap that comes along with that.
Yeah.
I got to go with Toy Story.
Yeah.
You got to go with MCU and Toy Story. I reckon.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Out of that list.
Out of that list there. Anyway, get rid of James Bond. Don't care too much for him. Yeah. Indiana Jones. That's a tough one to get rid of. Harry Potter. I've never been too huge on. Yeah, I reckon. There you go. Yeah. That's a good one. Let's get another question.
James, who is, in fact, that was Tashia, was a Patreon.
Yes.
James, another Patreon. Do you think that Disney will do more Premier Access films, despite saying they won't, if Mulan is very successful, which it seems to be on track to?
Well, Leighton asked a similar question, asked how Mulan went with its release. Mulan did fairly well. It got Disney Plus a 68% increase in subscribers and made $35.5 million on opening weekend. Obviously not as much as it would have made in cinemas, but that's a net profit to Disney, so they've taken that whole lot, right? And that means that's probably 1.2 million people have viewed it over that opening weekend. And I don't know if that's just in the US or in Australia. I think that's a success. I think Disney would count that as a success. And I would say that absolutely there'll be more Premier Access films. In fact, they're already talking in the trades, Hollywood Reporter, whatever, about Soul being released direct to Disney Plus towards the end of the year, which is the next Pixar film. So I think
It was huge in China, wasn't that, Mulan?
Mulan, no. Well, it only did 23 million in China, which is under what they were expecting for China. But there's been a whole boycott thing going on, a lot of like really political things going on with the movie regarding where it was filmed, and just a lot of stuff kind of led to like this big boycott. The lead star in it as well, you know, people had a bit of an issue with some political things she was saying, and there was a big boycott behind that film. It made $6 million in the other countries that did receive it theatrically as well, which was only a few other countries as well. But yeah.
A couple of really quick ones. So we just want really quick answers here.
Yeah.
What's that one? Igaroan,
I think. Igaroan, I think.
Igaroan.
Yeah.
Do you have preference for hand-drawn or CGI animation?
Don't have a preference for either. I think the same amount of love, care, and work goes into each one. So, yeah.
Joseph Pazantes.
Yep.
Hope I'm pronouncing these correctly.
Yep.
If I'm not, I apologise. What's the first Blu-ray you ever owned?
I believe we bought the Oceans trilogy, The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. They came in a 2-pack. Dark Knight Rises hadn't come out then. And I can't remember what else. They're the only ones that I remember. There were a couple other things we got along with them as well. But yeah.
Ross, the film critic,
Yep.
do you think the Star Wars fandom will criticise the new trilogy in the next few years and look back on the sequel trilogy and being more kind to it, like the prequel?
Okay, so
like
essentially everyone ragged on the prequels while they were coming out, and then 10 years later, everyone loves the prequels. I think he's saying people are ragging on the new sequels, and then...
Will they eventually...
I think they will. I think people will look back, despite everything we've talked about it, just the production history is just crap, you know, and the way they made the movies wasn't great, the way the trilogy kind of panned out as an arced story was not very good. I think people will look on with it with fondness. People who love the prequels are kids who grew up with it, like myself. I was 8 years old when, you know, The Phantom Menace came out, and I love those films. They have flaws, but I love them. Give it another 10, 20 years, people will look on to these with, you know, I think. One more question.
Evan Clannon?
Yep.
Are there any particular online personalities who've gotten you into YouTube?
Well, I think the big one was probably Casey Neistat. His stuff was just like really inspirational, influential on myself, and just getting something happening.
And we really only stumbled across him too.
Yeah.
Because at the time we were looking at buying a drone, and we were looking for reviews on drones. And his was one of the first ones that came up with the DJI, not the Mavic, whatever it's called. And thought, oh, geez, this guy doesn't make a bad video. And we watched a few more of his review videos and stuff, and
his vlogs, and
then came across his vlogs and thought, wow, this guy's quite innovative in what he did. We knew nothing of him before that.
Yeah. And, so I think that was just really that catalyst to get something happening. There's been so many, like, entertainment YouTubers, podcasters, stuff that really got me into wanting to do this kind of, like, I've wanted to do it my whole life, just talk about movies, make stuff. But that was the catalyst. Stuff like Mr. Sunday Movies, who does really great stuff. He's a really great guy who I've come to know through doing my channel and stuff. Really great guy. Is a patron supporter as well.
Yes.
So thank you, Mr. Sunday Movies. And of course,
we'll have to get him on.
Yeah, we will get him on. I think we'll get him on if you're listening out there. Double Toasted were really great as well. Just movie reviewers.
Yeah,
a bunch
they're
of guys
fantastic.
get together,
They're
do
fabulous.
some great movie reviews. So.
That's it.
That is it. That's all for today's show. You can hear it in my throat already. I'm getting a little bit scratchy.
And we skimmed over a lot of stuff there too.
We did skim over a lot of stuff. We went through a lot of stuff really quickly. Of course, if you want to send in any questions, I do a shout out on the YouTube community board and on Twitter kind of early to midweek. You can submit more questions. Sorry that I can't get to every single one of them. We're kind of pressed for time in this 1 hour time slot. Of course, you can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, over on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Lee Down Under. Just search for me and I will pop up. This episode is going out on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts on every Monday. The visual element is also available to view on YouTube on the Monday, but it goes out 2 days early to Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. This week on YouTube, I've just launched my Yosemite Sam Cartoon Evolution and the Voice Evolution Companion, so get on those, watch those away. This upcoming week, we've got my first volume of the Pixar ranking. There's going to be about 5 volumes of those over the next 5 months or so. This is the first volume, which is the Platinum Age, which is going to be awesome. We've also got the Secret Society of Second Born Warriors review that is up now. We've got the interviews with the cast coming midweek. I've got a surprise video. I think everyone's going to be very excited about that one. I'm not going to say too much. Look, guys,
something that people have been asking for a long time.
Something people have been asking for a long time, and you're finally going to get it. You're finally going to get it. Okay, guys, thanks so much. We will see you next week. Take it easy.
Thanks for joining us.